YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy James with Make an Opening, and this video is going live 1 hour before we finally get our Star Wars Unlimited competitive play check-in. A lot of people are speculating what's going to go down in this live stream. Are we going to see a Jango Fett ban? Are we going to see a Han Solo ban? Tarkin Town, DJ, Triple Dark Raid? A lot of people are throwing around a lot of names for cards, leaders, bases that they want banned or, suspended, as FFG likes to call it. So we're going to basically look over the numbers now that we have 2 weekends worth of competition. We're going to see why I think Jango is guaranteed suspended at this point. And what we're going to look at afterwards is what a world without Jango Fett is going to look like. Some of my favorite decks going forward, and then also if Han does get hit as well, we'll look at some new leaders that can come into the metagame and shake things up a little bit. First thing I wanted to point out though, and I'm sure it's because this live stream has been planned for a while, so it's probably just like filler text, but the actual description of the live stream, it says it's been out for over a year now. We've seen several sets worth of competitive play alongside it. Join members of the team for some discussion on the current state of the metagame, popular deck lists, and the results of the game's first few sector qualifiers. We'll finish up with some Q&A and provide some tips for playing to the metagame in future events. Now, anywhere on here does it say that they're going to be talking bans or suspensions? No, but I think it is just filler text because this stream has been listed and scheduled for a while now. It's not like they just scheduled it post Jango being a problem. So, if you are in that boat and you think that they're not going to ban anything, this is some good evidence, but I think they're still going to ban something today in an hour. If you're watching this as I upload it, if you are, you're a real one. So what we're going to do, this is swoometa.net. It's a brand new website that I'm going to have linked down in the description. It's super cool. I love the guys that are working on it. Really good minds, and glad to have them in the Star Wars Unlimited universe. So basically what this is a current meta overview based on data from 1,673 decks, which is a really good sample size. We have some of the most popular leader-based combos, and we also have the most popular leader-based combos that have been in the top 8 across all of the big tournaments, which the tournaments that they're going to be looking at are the 3 sector qualifiers and then the 3 Battle at Atlanta events. And these are obviously the player counts for these set events, so a lot of data points to look at. But regardless, we have a little bit of a problem. So the meta being 20% Jango isn't the problem. The problem is how well Jango is converting. Jango Tarkin Town specifically is going from 20% of the meta to 39% of the meta in top 8. So it is converting at a 200% rate. Most decks in metas typically, at a healthy rate is 100%, maybe, a little less, like 80-90% conversion rates. 200%, that's crazy. And on a per event basis, sometimes it is 300% plus. So 39% is crazy. If you're looking at it as a whole, Jango is going from 20% to 47%, but this also doesn't take into consideration Jango Red. This is just Jango Tarkin Town. Jango Red has been played less than Jango Tarkin Town, but Red 37 popping up a little bit more recently due to the fact that they now have to plan for the mirror because they know they're going to run into a lot of Jangos because Jango is tier 0. We are currently in a tier 0 meta. If you can't beat them, join them. And if you join them, prepare for the mirrors. So I do think 30 is probably better than Tarkin Town, but only specifically for that instance. Then we can see 9% Quinlan Tarkin Town. I like to see that because that's currently my go-to deck right now. So hopefully that doesn't get touched. We have 6% Sabine ECL. We have 5% Boba Fett Yellow and 3% Han Yellow. So what happens if Jango gets banned? Well, I'm going to go over some of my favorite lists if he does get suspended, and I'll also go over some additional things if Han also gets suspended. So one thing that needs to be discussed is Jango Fett Tarkin Town is the current top tier cunning villainy triple dark raid list. A lot of people are speculating the new Boba Fett JTL leader is going to pop into that slot. I personally think it's going to be Vonreg. I like Vonreg more than I like the new Boba Fett, to be honest. These are more so work in progress lists that I threw together to give you guys an idea of at least where to start in a post Jango world. I do think personally that Vonreg is going to be the best use case of triple dark raids, maybe even sneak attacks as well, but I don't have those in this list currently because a lot of the time you want to have, you know, cheap ships out. If they're not ready, you want to ready them with K-turn or Koigran turn. For those of you not 100% familiar, it readies a fighter or transport unit with 6 or less power. You want to have Vonreg on there because it deploys on turn 3 and can buff your unit by +3/+3 with his piloting. And there's a bunch of really good targets for that. So obviously, Kylo's TIE Silencer starts swinging for 6. Death Space Skirmisher starts swinging for 6. Lurking TIE Phantom starts swinging for 7. Vonreg starts swinging for 7 as well because of the benefit of raid, because it's, while it has 6 or more power, it gains raid 1. So a lot of really good targets for Vonreg. I also have the Boba Fett pilot in here as well, and then some late game bombs that you can try and cheat out with triple dark raid, but are also just good high end here. Personally, I like Corporate Light Cruiser. I feel like this card never gets played, or if it does, I haven't really seen it a lot, but a lot of people are teching against sneak attacks and triple dark raids. You cheat out your unit and then they exhaust it or they defeat it before you can get anything done. If you cheat out Corporate Light Cruiser, it has raid 1 and ambush, so it's a 5/6 and you get to attack with it immediately. That's why I like it personally. Obviously it doesn't give you enough time to use an action to pop Vader Vonreg on it. Now if you cheat out Techno Union or Ruthless Raider with triple dark raid, then you can slap Vonreg on there and swing for some big damage. But I think Vonreg's better spot is going to be on the cheaper ships. And this whole deck is, you know, still red, yellow, villain aggro. It's going to be the new triple dark raid home. Is it as oppressive? Definitely not. But I think it's going to be its new best home outside of the oppressive Jango. Now, one deck that clearly gets way better in a Jango-less world is going to be Sabine ECL. Sabine is currently struggling because how do you beat aggro? You tap down all of their units. How do you tap down all of their units? War Juggernaut, IG-2000, the list goes on. But normally those units wouldn't be that big of a problem, but under the reign of Jango Fett, those units are a big problem. So one of the lists I think is going to get better in a post-Jango world is obviously Sabine, the tried and true aggro queen. And this is basically just a straight up standard, almost cookie cutter list. I've seen a lot of people running Darksabers, but I honestly think in a world without Jango, upgrade hate becomes more prevalent because more people are going to be playing Vonreg, Boba Fett, Kazuda, you know, a lot of the units, a lot of the leaders that deploy as upgrades. I think that becomes more prevalent. So with those on the rise, upgrade hate goes on the rise, and Darksabers, that's just feel bad. Because if you Darksaber on the Sabine flip turn and then you get bamboozled, you know, what are you going to do about that? But other than that, it's pretty standard. We have the new Luke Skywalker pilot in here, +3/+2, and whenever he gets defeated, it's just a ground unit, which is really solid. Blue leader, either a 3/3 or a 5/5 with ambush is super good as well. But when it comes to set 3 additions, there wasn't a whole lot. This deck is really solid as it is. Obviously, everybody has their own touches and flares that you can put on it, but Sabine definitely gets a whole lot better in a world without Jango Fett. And my personal favorite is going to be Quinlan. This is my current list, and I've unprivated the list for you guys to look at, and anytime I update it, you guys are going to get to see what I'm cooking with in the background, right? Hopefully Tarkentown doesn't get hit. This type of deck and play style is just what I gravitate towards a lot. I'm not a very heavily aggressive player, and I do like control, but not to like a crazy far extent. This mid-range, you know, like outsmarting your opponent, taking away their resources is the type of wheelhouse I like to stay in card games like this. So this list I've been playing for the better part of a month now. I've been making a lot of changes, which you'll see if if you click the deck list downstairs in the description. You'll see like the history I've gone through. I've made changes, all that stuff. I don't have an active sideboard right now. I do, but I don't. I didn't want to have one listed right now. And obviously this list itself is going to change in a world without Jango. I'm definitely getting rid of the Grogu's. These cards are only here for Jango to like exhaust cards that come off triple dark raid and sneak attack. Maybe they stay, but also it's not really super good either. Maybe Grogu actually stays in a world without Jango, because a lot of times I'll have Grogu ready to exhaust, but then Jango will exhaust Grogu before Grogu can exhaust a unit. So not super good there. But it's more or less a standard Quinlan list that you've been seeing at the sector qualifiers. I run Jetpack. I like Jetpack. It's kind of sneaky. So instead of 3 hotshot blasters, I run 2 blasters and a Jetpack. Other than that, is there anything else in here that's a little abnormal? I'm not on the 1-drop package right now, specifically because I didn't want to start working on a 1-drop package just to completely ditch it once Jango got banned, because I'm fairly certain he's going to. I'm off of Ezra because he's a 3/4 and in a ping Tarkin Town world. That's rough to play into and play with. And without Jango, there's still going to be CAD and obviously Quinlan mirrors. It wouldn't fare super well into those. But Falcon stays because it's Falcon, right? And I just got a hyperspace one. It's epic. Ahsoka is probably the best card in the entire set. This card's actually insane. I'm on Poe Dameron's now to make the mid game heading into late game a little bit better for us. And it does attack our own hand, but it can actually get a lot of stuff done. 2 commandeers in the main probably changes a little bit, or maybe even goes up to 3. I'm not running bamboozles or anything like that in the main either. And then my high end, we have 2 Han and a mace instead of 3 Hans, because I like having mace ready whenever it takes out either 6 health units or the smaller 6 health leaders as well. So that's my current Quinlan list. Again, all 3 of these lists I just talked about are going to be downstairs in the description. Feel free to check them out. Let me know what you think about them. Hopefully they're just good jumping off points for you guys. Quinlan, I've put a lot more work into, so this is a little bit more fleshed out over time of what I've been playing, testing, and all that fun stuff. But last thing I want to look at, if Han Solo also gets the hammer in a 1 hour time frame from now, a lot of leaders that cost 6 or more are going to, in theory, get a lot better and more playable, because without Han, you don't have to worry about the DJ Tech combo nearly as much. Maybe it has fringe use in other yellow hero lists, but I really doubt I would be seeing that at all. And also Han Solo, in Han Solo, obviously it defeats your resource that they steal from you. So you won't have to worry about that. And instead of being set back and not being able to deploy on your 6 resource turn because Han Solo yoinks your resources, these leaders should be a little bit more competitively viable, and they should have more of a reason to hit the tables as well. So some of these that, catch my eye, that would be really fun to play. Obviously, Luke and Vader, for those of you on the showcase hunt to be one of the few in the world to own either one of the showcases, is really cool. I've been tinkering around with Vader a little bit. Vader ECL is pretty fun in this set, I'm not gonna lie, but that list currently is secret sauce that you can't have, because I'm iffy on that list and possibly taking it to regionals. Who knows? Grand Inquisitor, I've loved Grand Inquisitor since set 1. Still sucks though, in my opinion. Cassian's cool. Palpatine's gonna get a lot better as well without Han. Scrolling a little bit, Garth Saxon would theoretically get a little bit better as well, but his whole point in the meta right now is to counter Jango, so I don't really see what he's gonna be super useful for outside of that. I mean, Quinlan has a really good time at a Saxon. Quinlan basically blanks his leader box, because you play a lot of shielded stuff, but I just ping your shields off. I always have a really good win rate into Saxon. Hondo Onaka's cool. Rey is really cool. We get cards like Cad Bane, obviously, is going to get a lot better as well. Obi-Wan Kenobi, if there's still a lot of Tarkin Town usage. Yoda, love Yoda personally. He's super fun, super sick. Other leaders that I kind of want to have working at some point. Mace Windu, that guy's sick. If I can take Mace Windu to top 64, his showcase is pretty cool. I've always been a fan of his showcase. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Yeah, this showcase is sick. It's the scene where he's got Palpatine up against the wall, and Anakin had to go and ruin it. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool leaders that could shine in the upcoming meta in a post Jango world, maybe post Jango and Han world. Let me know what you guys are interested in playing. What are you guys currently playing? Is it going to change? Are you one of the Jango players? I was going to say the few, but there's not a few of you. And if you are a Jango player, what are you thinking about pivoting to? If you're a Han player and Han actually got hit as well, what are you guys planning on pivoting to? Let me know downstairs in the comments section. And until next time, this has been your boy James with Make an Opening. I'll see you later.